Okay, page 23 in our workbook. Let's look at number 3. Complete the sentences. Use ever. All right. Have you ever used the computer in the library? So this one is done for us, right? We're going to be using the words you and use, right? Have you ever used the computer in the library? Let's look at number 2. We're going to be using the words your teacher, talk. I wrote down, has your teacher ever talked to you after class? Has your teacher ever talked to you after class? Number 3 is, we're going to use the words your friends and study. I wrote down, have your friends ever studied with you? Has your friends ever studied with you? Number 4, we're going to be using the words you and write. I wrote down, have you ever written an email to your teacher? Have you ever written an email to your teacher? Number 5, we're going to be using the word you and underline. I wrote down, have you ever underlined the main ideas in your textbook? Have you ever underlined the main ideas in your textbook? Number 6, we're going to be using the words they and get. I wrote down, have they ever gotten all the questions correct on the test? Have they ever gotten all the questions correct on the test? All right. So these are my answers. Hopefully you got the same. So let's move on. Number 4, read the conversations. Write sentences about people in the conversation. Okay? So, for this one, number 1 is done for us, right? So here's the conversation between Kate and Melissa. Kate says, have you ever forgotten to study for a test? Melissa says, no, I haven't. Kate says, have you ever lost your notebook or your textbook? Melissa says, yes, I have. I left it on a bus. So they wrote down here, Melissa hasn't ever forgotten to study for a test. She has lost her notebook. All right. So now let's take some time and complete number 2 and 3, right? Number 2 is a conversation between Louis and Franco. And number 3 is a conversation between Maria and Rose. All right? And this is your time to use what you've learned so far and write these out however you want. And you can share them with us by email or in the Zoom meeting or on WhatsApp. All right? Okay, so now we're moving into Lesson D. All right, Unit 2, Lesson D. And this is our unit review. Let's look at page 24 in our workbook, right? This is our reading section. Read the answer and questions, then listen. All right. So let's read this, and then let's take some time to listen to it. You can scan this barcode, all right, and let's take some time to listen to it so we can really understand what the strategies are for learning new words. All right. So it reads, have you ever felt discouraged because there are so many new words to learn in English? Have you tried to set goals for learning new words? Here are some ideas to help you practice and remember vocabulary. Strategy number 1. Keep a vocabulary notebook. Buy a small notebook. Take it with you everywhere. When you see new words around you in the street, in an advertisement, or in a newspaper, write the new words in your notebook. Use clues to guess the meanings. At the end of the day, use your dictionary to write them. At the end of the day, use your dictionary to check the meanings. Write an example sentence or draw a picture to help you remember the new words. Strategy number 2. Make vocabulary cards. Have you ever felt bored waiting online or taking the bus? Use the time to practice vocabulary. Choose 5 words from your English class or from a newspaper or magazine. Write each word on a small card. Write the word on one side of the card. Then, write the definition or translation on the other side. Test yourself on the definitions. Strategy number 3. Use new words in conversations every day. Choose one new word from your notebook or vocabulary cards every day. Try to use it in a conversation sometime during the day with your friends, classmates, family, or with your teacher. Using the words you learn will help you remember them. Okay, so these are the strategies for learning new words. And again, you can scan this barcode to listen to what we just read. So, question is, what is the article about? The answer is done for us, right? The article is about strategies for learning new words. Number 2, what are the 3 strategies described in the article? I wrote down 1. Keep a vocabulary notebook. 2. Make vocabulary cards. And then 3. Use new words in conversations every day. Number 3. If you write a new word on one side of the card and write the definition on the other side, what strategy are you using? I wrote down strategy number 2. Make vocabulary cards. So these are what I got for answers for this section. All right, let's turn over to page 25. Page 25, we will start by we'll start in number 2. Circle the correct answers. Use the information from exercise 1. So we're going to answer these questions based on what we read. The first one is done for us. The article says you can use all of these strategies. B, every day. So now let's take some time to pause our video and look through our strategies for learning new words again and answer 2 through 4. And then when we come back, we'll share answers. Alright, so let's do that now. Okay, so hopefully you've had some time to go through the questions 2 through 4 based on the article. So let's see what we got here. So number 1 is done for us. The article says you can use all of these strategies, B, every day. Number 2, the article says these strategies should help you to, I chose D, remember new words. D. Remember new words. Number 3, the article says you should use blank to check definitions. I chose A. A dictionary. The article says you should use a dictionary to check definitions. Number 4, the article says you can practice using new words when blank. B. Talking to friends. And I also said reading a newspaper. So I actually chose 2 of these here because it did talk about talking to friends and reading a newspaper. Alright, so these are my answers. Hopefully you got the same. Let's move on. Number 3, make sentences. Match the sentence parts. Use the information from exercise 1, which was our article. So number 1 is done for us. You can draw pictures C in your vocabulary notebook. Okay. Number 2, you can use new words. I wrote D when you talk to friends. Number 3, you can look at vocabulary cards E when you are waiting in line. Number 4, you should guess the meanings first, and I chose A, and use a dictionary later. Number 5, you should write definitions, I said B, on the back of vocabulary cards. So according to what I read in the article, these are my answers. Alright, so hopefully you got the same. Alright, so let's move on. Number 4. Look at the bold words. Write a word from the box with the similar meaning. Okay? So before we move on, let's see how we pronounce these words in our box. Number 1, the first one is clues. Clues. Next one is gestures. Gestures. Next one is plan. Plan. Practice. Practice. Set. Set. Last one is strategies. Strategies. Okay, so the first one is done for us. We are going to look at the bold words, methods, and write the words from this box that has a similar meaning. Methods, strategies. The article suggests some easy methods for learning new words. Strategies. I need to decide on a few goals for learning English. The word that best matched decide on was set. I use set. Okay, number 3. Have you made a decision to help you reach your goals? For decisions, I said, have you made a plan? I said plan. Alright. Number 4, I need to use new words every day to help me remember them. For the bold words used, the same word I chose was practice. Practice. Number 3, certain information in a sentence can help you guess the meaning. For information, I said clues. Clues. And then hand movements can sometimes help to explain the meaning. Hand movements, the best word I chose was gestures. Gestures. Okay, so set, plan, practice, clues, and then gestures. All right, so hopefully those matched up with yours. If not, we can talk about it and work on it together. All right, and maybe some words in here could fit other meanings, right? So don't just automatically think you're wrong. Let's talk about it. All right? All right, so let's move on.